Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be working on the front upper control arm ball joints. About a year and a half ago, I released a video on how to replace your front upper control arm ball joints. If you haven't checked that video out yet, go ahead and check that video out, guys. It's a good video on how to replace your ball joints. In that video, I actually found an issue with my car. One of the issues is that one of the upper control arms is OEM and the other one is an aftermarket one made by Sankei. Sankei is actually a very good brand. It is a go-to for any OEM replacement parts. However, when I tried to press the new ball joint into the Sankei arm, it essentially just dropped into the hole. How I fixed it in the video is essentially just by putting a whole bunch of aluminum foil tape around the hole and then pressing the ball joint on top of the aluminum foil tape. Well, it's been a year and a half now. I decided to check out how it's been holding up, and it's broken loose now. So in this video, we're going to be basically pulling that upper control arm off, and we're going to be fixing the problem. Let's get to work. Alright guys, so this is the ball joint that has the aluminum foil tape. I'm going to show you guys what happens when it is broken loose. So I have the steering unlocked right now so I can move the wheel by hand. So as I'm turning this, take a look at the ball joint. It is moving side to side, turning with the wheel. That is not safe. This is supposed to be locked in place and only the ball joint inside is supposed to turn, not the whole assembly. So we're going to fix that problem. I'll show you guys the other side just to give you guys a general idea. All right, so this is the other side. As you can see, the ball joint is completely secured on this one. So this is the OEM arm. So this is good. The other side, not so much. Alright guys, so again, to start this whole process, basically I'm going to have to remove the shock bolts as well as underneath here, underneath the fuse box, it is where the upper control arm bolts are. It's just two, one on this side and one on this side. So I'm going to remove this so that I can flip it up a little bit and then get all these bolts out so that I can start. Alright, with the top bolts all nice and loose, we're going to work on the bottom. That's popped off. I'll leave that off for now. Alright guys, so The arm is now out. As you can see, this is what we're talking about, where it's just too loose. The ball joint is still fine, but this is no good. So we need to pull this all off, clean it all up. What we're going to be doing is we're going to tack weld it so that it holds it in place. So let's get to work, I guess, pulling this ring and everything else off. All right, to start the process, we need to pop this ring off. It is essentially held on. We could just use one of these picks or a small flathead screwdriver to get it out. So as you can see right here, this is the ring. So it's probably easier to get the pick in there. Just gotta be careful not to damage the boot while doing this. Go. And the boot comes right off. Probably good to get a piece of cardboard or something. Now we can take the ring off. There we go. And as you can see, the ball joint is just very loose. What it needs to be is it has to face straight. So we're going to twist the ball joint back like this. So essentially it's going to look like this. The numbers are actually lined up with this line here that's centered. It's pretty close anyways, but essentially you want it up and down like this. So now that it's there, what we're going to do is we're going to pop the boot back on. We're going to grind a few spots into here so that we have a spot to weld. But what I'm going to do is pull the snap ring off. I'm going to clean this whole area first. Once it's all clean, then we're going to grind down. Snap ring is out. And you can pop the ball joint just like that. Which is not right. The ball joint shouldn't come off that easily. As you can see, inside this hole has already worn out all that that foil tape that I put in there. So essentially what it's been doing is just been grinding at it. So that really sucks. I was really hoping that it'd work, or at least hold up longer. But we're gonna get some brake cleaner and all that and just scrub this whole area down, rip off any of the foil tape, grind 3 spots into here, and then we could also sand down this area so that it's bare metal as well on this. And then we're gonna start welding. Alright, so I'm gonna sand like the edge here, here, and here. 3 points where I'm gonna tack 3 welds. That should be secure enough to hold it down. After all, it's usually just supposed to be pressed in. But since the inside is just completely rounded, nothing's gonna ever press in. So I got some 80 grit sandpaper here, and we're just gonna scuff up so that the paint is kind of gone. You don't need a lot of it, just enough for the paint to be gone so that you could, do a weld. We're gonna paint it with some POR 15 later anyways. Now what I'm going to do is get some pliers and clamp that down. Alright guys, so as you can see, 3 tack welds. I think it's still a little hot, but we're going to clean that up later and then just add some POR 15 to it, or just, you know, some paint on it, and it should be good. Then we could just reinstall. It's definitely not going to go anywhere anymore. Just do a test right now by holding the back here and just trying to twist it. It's not going to go anywhere. It's welded down. And if I ever have to change it again, I could always just grind these off and pop another ball joint in there if I have to. All right, now that it's put back together, the welded one, we're gonna test it again to see if it moves. It'll be pretty evident it'll move from the welds. So now that it's welded in, it shouldn't move. There you go. This is exactly what we expected. No movement, just the ball joint twisting inside. Much better. All right, now I'm going to just put everything back together and then we're done on this install. All right guys, so we finished up on the upper control arm ball joint. Everything is good now. So if you guys are looking to replace your upper control arm ball joints and your upper control arms are loose with the ball joint in it, this is a good method to fix it. This wouldn't be a problem if you guys still had your OEM arms, but if you guys have some aftermarket arms, then this is how you would fix it. The ball joints are actually a lot cheaper than buying the whole assembly, but it is a lot less work if you do replace just the whole assembly, because that stuff all wears, like the bushings in the back as well as the ball joint. And another good option is basically a camber kit, because a lot of you guys will lower your car, because stock ride height on these cars look like pretty damn high. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. I hope this helps you guys out. If you haven't already, please comment, like, and subscribe, and share my videos. As always, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.